education. You are also working on energy systems in your country, but also you have been part of a global alliance for clean energy in some ways. Tell us from your experience as of now, how you look at energy and climate change issues coming together, especially the role of nexus and innovation in that, and how do you feel it can provide answers to climate change? Please.
Thank you very much, Pradeep. So I'm going to share with you something very different. So how do we power those social and environmental innovators out there in the field in the developing countries that have no access to what this young lady beside me has been talking about, finance, access to credit, where they can really bring the green energy resources to those villages that are completely off the grid. So first I want to start with the Paris Agreement, historic. I did not go to COPs again after Copenhagen collapsed. I thought it's just a waste of time, so much of hot air in a climate circus and nothing comes about. But after Paris came in, as an agreement last year, I was busy planting mangrove trees in Myanmar. My colleague was there in Paris. I said, wow, there is a ray of hope at the end of the tunnel. And I'm glad that on the 4th of November, it actually came into force. So what happens now? Well, this is going to trigger a future regulatory change in economics through new policies affecting fossil fuel use, clean energy, and clean energy efficiency. There are our INDCs, but we need a new bottom-up approach, a people-led approach, not just a corporate or governmental top-down approach. How are people consulted on the ground, especially those who are below the poverty line, who are deprived of energy? This will open up new challenges at the same time, and also open up opportunities for companies, big and small, medium-sized enterprise, who can innovate and provide the much-needed energy solutions, as well as traditional firms who can adapt in the new changing regulations in any country they operate. So what are the new opportunities that exist for us? Well, it will create a lot of opportunities for companies, as well as SMEs, that can provide the true green solution, and not just those business as usual, traditionally developed markets, but also help in countries like China, India, Brazil, or other low-income countries that are really at the bottom of the pyramid segment, such as many African countries. But in order to help these companies to realize these opportunities, we need a quick intelligence gathering support with sound analysis from around the world, so that these markets can come into force, the green markets. I'm based in London. We operate in 9 pilot countries, but I looked at the growth of the alternative energy companies on the London Stock Exchange. There are 17 of them right now, and that was a couple of months ago. There might be more. So you can imagine there's a huge growth in these companies that are now listed in the London Stock Exchange. And out of that, there are 14 alternative energy companies listed in the AMI. So AMI is the alternate investment market, and it's growing in the billions, which is amazing. What's AMI? AMI was created in 1995 by the London Stock Exchange, principally as a device range of small companies to give them an opportunity for sensibly raising capital in a regulated market. AMI companies come from 37 sectors, 90 subsectors in 26 countries, and it has over 250 companies outside the UK. So you don't have to be a British company to be on the AMI. This speaks volume because of the valuability of the AMI market as a place for younger international companies wishing to fund expansion and raise truly a global profile. So what happens? We've been working on the ground in Myanmar, in India and Sri Lanka, and we want to pitch something called a Clean Tech Innovation Program based on our pilot studies to really target the people below the poverty line. As you can see, the top 3 renewable energy technologies in the world, there is water, small hydro in Africa, which is green. There's bioenergy and water in Latin America. In Asia, there's onshore wind and SV water programs and so on. But the top 3 are listed there. There's a huge opportunities for small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. Look at the market size of the top 15 clean technologies. You have, again, water. You have onshore, solar, photovoltaic, small hydro, water. It's just growing. It's huge. The SME share is huge, and the non-SME share is green. So what's happening at a global scale? Well, the World Bank came out with a report about building competitive green industries that illustrate the nature which is likely the size of clean opportunities for SMEs in 145 developing countries over the next decade. Well, in that time, expected investments could go across all those 15 technology sectors in these developing countries. It could top $6.4 trillion overall. Of that total market, 1.6 will be accessible to small companies that are operated by young people, such as my brother in South Africa, to really scale them up. Even when excluding China, Russia, and middle-income European countries, these opportunities exist are still significant. 4.1 trillion overall, of which 1 trillion is accessible to small, medium-sized industries. Hence, we want to create this new movement of creating low-tech innovative program and raise money from organizations like UNIDO, the GEF program, and now we have the Global Green Climate Fund based out of Korea. So what are we doing with all this know-how? For the last 3 years, I've been working in Myanmar, Burma, planting 2 million trees in the Delta region with a grant we got for $2 million from an Origin Foundation. We've been efficient enough to plant 2 million trees. But what's the problem? The Delta region has only 15% left of mangrove cover. A lot of trees have been cut down because of energy needs. The poor had no fuel, and they chopped down mangroves to burn it for charcoal and also for energy production. But you can't go to that village and tell the father to stop cutting down trees if you don't provide them a green solution to sustain their livelihoods. So we've been working now with research partners. Of course, I met Jeffrey Sachs here. He wanted to give me an update of what we've been doing. And I work closely with Nicholas Stern, being from the LSE, but these guys wanted to see some tangible pilots that can be scaled. But having said that, there's an organization in London that call themselves the Social Stock Exchange, where all the green companies are listed. It's a place where impact investors hover around, where a lot of money is coming in, where they can finance the much needed capital for innovative projects run by young people in the developing countries. So these are the little guys that we're investing our time in a little village in Myanmar. We work with them because they are the future. They need to take care of the mangroves. We give them mangrove trees to plant, and we tell them if the mangrove trees survive, they get a bulb because they don't have electricity. But with that little bulb, innovative little solution, they can study, they can charge their mobile phone, and they can, use it for the parents. They can work at night, and they can have cleaner livelihoods even in the middle of the night. But we want to also get all the charcoal producers to actually raise nurseries to plant mangrove trees, which can prevent floods, disaster from hurricanes, and create green jobs for these people. So we need to look at it from a whole holistic perspective. Green jobs to creating clean energy, restoring of mangrove ecosystems that suck 5 times more carbon than terrestrial trees, and providing livelihoods, because when mangroves exist, you get a lot of fish. So that's what we're doing, and I want to end by showing a little model of what I got from a lady who's working in the middle of DRC Congo and also now in Haiti. This is called a solar puff. She said, Bremley, I like what you do in Myanmar with those little bulbs, but it could break. Here's something more efficient for the little ones. A little solar puff which can glow in the night, and she said, I'm going to raise enough money to get 100,000 of them to take with you to the land of gold, because now the government of Myanmar said, great, you've done your research and you've done your pilot planting 2 million trees in 1,800 hectares. Here's 80,000 hectares. We need 320 million trees to be planted in the next 10 years. And there are 30 more villages that we can work with in the Delta region that are totally off the grid. So these little things can help them in the long run. So with that said, these are the people we're trying to address and below the poverty line, and we need your help. And I hope we can collaborate and take something off the grid and create those green jobs.